YouTube team, keep it clean. What's going on? It's Ingraven here with another video, and in this video, good morning and congrats. Well, congrats at least to all the Ravens fans right now, because the Ravens currently are the number one seed in the AFC, the number one seed, and that is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. It's a great feeling. I think this is the first time that the Ravens have ever even had that title. But, sorry, I know a lot of us are still on a high from that game yesterday. But I gotta bring everybody back down to reality. It's not over. It is not a lock. Ravens, they need to continue to do what they've been doing, and they need to maintain. They need to continue to be consistent. I know they have been. I mean, for the past 8 weeks, they sure have been. But they got to keep it up, because it only gets harder. It only gets harder because you're going up against teams, except for one, but you're going up against teams that still have something to fight for. And one of them is trying to take your spot. So Ravens, they have to stay the course. They have to. And real quick, we got to give a big shout out to the Texans. Huge shout out to the Texans. I was going to ask everybody in the comment section to put hashtag thank you Texans. And you can still do that if you choose. But something that's a little different this season, something that's going to be a little different this video, while we are very appreciative of the Texans for them beating the Patriots last night, allowing the Patriots and the Ravens to have the same exact schedule. But again, like we talked about, since they have the same schedule, that head-to-head tiebreaker that a lot of Patriots fans told me didn't count. A lot of Patriots fans told me that, oh, well, you guys beat us, but that game doesn't even count. Beat us when it counts. A lot of Patriots still, a lot of Patriots fans are still, they don't want to let that one go. They don't want to accept that loss. They really don't. And it's sad. It's very sad. Like us Ravens fans, we know what it's like to get whooped. We lost to the Browns at home by 15. By 15. So it happens. We accepted that. It happens. But I think with enough Patriots, not all of them now, but a good portion of them, a lot of Patriots fans just do not like to accept losing. But I think that comes with the territory of winning all the time, always being in the Super Bowl, always winning the Super Bowl, and just having so much success that you don't know what it's like to lose. You don't know what it's like to get beat down. You don't know what it's like to accept a loss, and you don't want to accept a loss. So, even though I don't agree, I understand why some, not all, some are like that. But now it's like something's changed. And not even just with Patriots fans, but just with a lot of fans, whether they have other teams or people just waiting and wanting the Ravens to fail. The people not wanting to give the Ravens any credit. Things change on a weekly basis, because first it's going to be like, first it was like, watch what them Patriots do. First it was actually watch what the Seahawks do. Watch, when y'all play the Seahawks, yeah, no. Watch. Then it changed to, no, Patriots, yeah, number one defense in the league. No, watch what happens when you play the Patriots. No, not that. Bengals, that was a little trap. It was a potential trap game, but they didn't fall for the bait. Then it was like, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, Deshaun Watson about to come into Baltimore, light it up. Then it was, the Rams. Why? Okay, yeah, all that's over now. Y'all going against the Rams. That's a wrap now. Then it was, y'all playing a real defense now. I mean, which we did, but like, 49ers. Yeah, they gonna take care of y'all. But now it's like you can tell that people, they're really getting that Ravens are a really good team. They're a really great team this year. They are a great team, a great team this year. And so now things have changed because what I see from a lot of people, I see it on Twitter, I see it in the comment section, I see it from a lot of people. They say, oh, I can't wait till you guys lose in the playoffs. I can't wait till you guys lose in the playoffs. You see how things change? First, it was people just say, oh, these Ravens ain't that good. Overrated. They ain't nothing. And every week, it was, okay, this is going to be the week. 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 I think I said it 8 times. Maybe I said it 7. Either way, this is going to be the week. And Ravens they just keep winning. They keep winning. So what a lot of people have been saying about these Ravens, they're running out of excuses. So now they changed what they're saying now. And what they keep doing with the Ravens, one thing they continue to do, they keep saying, wait till this happens. Wait till this happens. They keep playing out all these possible scenarios, but not stuff that actually does happen. What a lot of people love to do with Lamar Jackson, wait until he gets hurt. What a lot of people like to do with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense, wait until they have to play from behind. And now what they're doing with the playoffs, wait until the Ravens lose in the playoffs. A lot of people just don't want to give credit. But that's fine. But anyway, while a lot of people have been waiting for the Ravens to fall off, the Ravens have continued to be consistent, and they are 10-2, along with those Patriots who apparently lost to them on purpose, who apparently just played that game to get film. But anyway, Ravens have the number 1 seed right now. So what I was saying before is that we can say thank you, Texans, and we appreciate what the Texans did. We really do. And we want to say thank you, Chiefs, next week as well. But one thing to keep in mind that we have to do is say thank you, Ravens. We have to say thank you, Ravens. Why? Because for the first time in a long time, at this point of the season, when is the last time at this point of the season? This point of the season that the Ravens controlled their own fate. That the Ravens had firm control over what happens next. If they win out, nobody can change anything with the Ravens. Nobody. If they win out, that's it. Nobody can change a thing. It doesn't matter if that team loses. It doesn't matter if that team wins. It doesn't matter if that team ties. If they win out, that's it. Number 1 seed. That's it. Nobody can have an impact on that whatsoever. And that's a beautiful thing, and that's something that we are not used to as Ravens fans. We've had times where at this point, not this point of the season, maybe a couple weeks later, where a win or a loss wouldn't have changed our playoff seeding, but that wasn't for a number 1 seed. That wasn't for the possibility of a number 1 seed. We've had some times where the Ravens could have had the number 1 seed, but a lot of stuff would have had to happen in order for them to jump up some team, and it would have been a lot of crazy stuff. It was not impossible, but it was definitely not likely. But that stuff didn't end up happening, but the Ravens would still make the playoffs. But now, again, these Ravens, they control everything. They control it. And again, that's not something that we're used to. But now it just gets that much harder. So having a number 1 seed is cool. I'm excited for it. I love it, but it's not a lock. Ravens need to still take care of business. Their next 4 opponents: the Bills, the Jets, the Browns, and the Steelers. So 3 out of those 4 teams are playing for something. So that makes them dangerous. Now, with the Jets, you never know what you're going to get. You saw how they end up whooping the Raiders last week, but then you see how they ended up getting whooped by the Bengals, or getting beat by the Bengals this week. Jets seem to give all these winless teams their first win. I mean, not the Jets. Yeah, the Jets. Sorry, I got my Bengals mixed up with the Jets. Anyway, to the Bills, though. The Bills are currently 9-3. They're 9-3. So that it's crazy to think, but the Patriots actually haven't won their division yet. They have not won their division yet. Usually at about in October. Usually in October, Patriots got their division and it's done. Not this year, though. Not these Bills. Bills are going to present their own tough challenges. They're going to present their own challenges when the Ravens take them on next week. And look at the Bills. Bills getting some respect now, too, now. Especially with their game being flexed, their Steelers game being flexed. Oh, and that's also because that team that we mentioned before, Steelers, they have something to play for. I was talking to my guy, I think it's Lewis. I always forget, my fault, man. Let me pull it up right now. My guy, I think, yeah, it is my guy Lewis. So, and he said, he asked a question. He's a Steelers fan. And he said, we were talking about how, I told him how I mentioned that the Steelers, I thought they were done. Now, I did say earlier, you can never count them out, but I thought their season was a wrap. When Ben Roethlisberger went down, I thought, oh, yeah, I mean, you could technically never count them out, but still, no. It's a wrap. But look where we are now. And the Steelers, they're technically not out of the division race. Ravens would have to absolutely fall off a cliff. But the Steelers are not out of the division race, and they are not out of the wild card race. They are still fighting for a spot. And we play them too. So first off with the Bills. And we're not going to get too much into the game because we're going to do our game preview video like y'all know. But we play the Bills and they've been rolling. And they could be fighting for a number one spot. They could be fighting for that. They're one game behind. One game behind the Ravens, one game behind the Patriots. They're right there. They're literally right there. So they're fighting for that same thing. Then we play the Jets. Now, while Jets aren't fighting for anything, they could present some chat because you never know what you're going to get with the Jets. You just don't know. And then we play the Browns and the Steelers. Browns are fighting for a wild card spot right now. Browns have been up and down. But, you know, Ravens coming into town, oh, that's going to be special. We just beat these dudes in their house by 15. We're going to want to do it again. And then we play the Steelers in Baltimore for the season finale. And that game could mean something, especially for Steelers. And even for Ravens, too. And again, actually, every game, see, we talked about this, and it's going to be in an episode of NFL Questions from Subscribers that we recorded before the 49ers game, where somebody asked the question, if Ravens have a playoff spot locked up, should they rest their starters? And I said no. But now you can't rest your starters. You can't. Because hot on your tail, you are going to have the Patriots, the Bills, the Patriots and the Bills. So, and you're going to be fighting for that number one spot. So Ravens can't afford to rest their starters. They can't do it because they're not in that position to. So that question has now become null and void. We still, of course, it's still going to be in a video, but that question is null and void. There's no rest in the starters, especially since you're fighting for that number one seed. And again, I say fighting for that number one seed because it is not a lock. It's not a lock. So Ravens are going to have to be on point, as they have been, but you can't stop. Like, Ravens really, in order for them to get where they need to go, no, it ain't the only way, but in order for them to keep the number 1 seed and obviously make it to the promised land, back down in Miami, you can't lose another game this year. You cannot lose another game this year. This entire season. That's only for the number 1 seed. There's obviously other ways to get there, to get to where they need to go. That being the Super Bowl. And again, it's crazy that we can actually have this conversation, and we can have this realistic conversation about the Ravens possibly making the Super Bowl. And it's getting we going into week 14. We can have a realistic conversation about this being a Super Bowl team going into week 14. A realistic one. Not a fanboy conversation, not a purple shades conversation, but a realistic conversation. This is not just a conversation that will be had amongst Ravens fans, but this is a conversation that could be had amongst NFL fans, period. That the Ravens are actually a Super Bowl team. This is not normal territory for us. It's not. But we are proud to be stepping in it. Very proud to be stepping in it. So with this number 1 seed, again, it ain't over till it's over. Let's look at the we talked about the Ravens not their previous, but their next 4 opponents. Let's look at the Patriots, because they got some tasks now. They got a little bit of toughness and a little bit of weakness. So, Chiefs. Next week is the Chiefs. Oh, that's in New England. Well, anyway. Chiefs. If they can beat the Colts. Chiefs got a shot. They could beat the Patriots. And see, this is why things are so tricky. This is why Ravens have to take care of business. Because, say for instance, the Chiefs beat the Patriots. Patriots go to 10-3. But Ravens, they still got to take care of business. They got to beat the Bills. Because if the Ravens lost to the Bills, they will go 10-3. And Bills will go 10-3. And then guess what? Same schedule. Same record. All 3 will be 10-3. But Bills would have beat the Ravens. But the Patriots would have beat the Bills. So I believe, but then I think then it would go, since the Bills would have beat the Ravens and the Ravens would have beat the Patriots, I think it would go strength of schedule between Bills and Ravens, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. Somebody in the comment section, please break it down. Please break it down, because I'm not 100% sure on that. But regardless, Ravens don't need it to get to that point to where it's tricky. They don't need it to get to that. That's why they have to remain on point. They have to. They have to. They play the Chiefs, back to the Patriots schedule. They play the Chiefs. They play the Bengals. And I want to say that's a gimme. It's any given Sunday, but yeah, it's any given Sunday still. That's what we holding out hope for, that game. Then they play the Bills. So they play the Chiefs. Then they play the Bengals. Then they play the Bills. Then they play the Dolphins. So with Patriots, it's a halfway tough schedule. And maybe the Dolphins will want to end the Patriots season on a bad note. Of course they will. Now, will they? I don't know that, but I don't think they will. But they're going to want to, at least. So when there's a will, there's a way. So hopefully they will their way to a win. But anyway, Patriots, that's their schedule. Now, let's look at the Bills' schedule. Because Bills are in this race too. They obviously play the Ravens this week. Then they play the Steelers. Oh yeah, they play the Steelers, and that's the game that got flexed. Ooh. And they play the Patriots. And they play the Jets. they got them a tough schedule. Ravens this week, Steelers, then Patriots, then Jets. Oh. So Bills, yeah, they got to fight too. They got to fight. So these top AFC teams, and then let's not even forget about the Chiefs. Let's not forget about the Chiefs. They obviously play the Patriots this week, but then they play the Patriots, they play the Broncos, then they play the Bears, then they play the Chargers. Now, when you look on paper at this schedule for the Chiefs, of course, Patriots will be the toughest game, but they play the Broncos, the Bears, and the Chargers. I think those could be 3 sneaky good games, because those are teams that can change every week. You never know what you're going to get out of those guys. Out of the Broncos, out of the Bears, and out of the Chargers. You do not know what you're going to get. So Chiefs are still fighting too. And of course, you got Texans, you got Colts, you got Steelers, of course, too. But my point is, going over all these different team schedules, my point remains the same. Ravens cannot take their foot off the gas. Ravens have to remain consistent. Ravens have to keep winning. Ravens cannot rest starters. Ravens have to win out. Win out. They have to win out. That number 1 seed is by no means a lock. We hope they lock it up, but by no means is it a lock. So Ravens, again, something that we spoke about yesterday, something that I've been extremely impressed with the Ravens on, especially with this being a very young team. A very young team. These dudes are super young. There's so many different positions. Quarterback, obviously. Running back, besides Mark Ingram. Wide receiver group. Tight ends. Some portions of the offensive line. Like, these dudes are young. Young. But what I talked about earlier this season, or really before the season even started, was the schedule. How it's away, home, away, home, away, home, away, home. There are no 2 consecutive home games. There are no 2 consecutive away games. It changes every week. So I said, wow, that's crazy. And they said that's only the 4th time that happened in NFL history. And I said, if the Ravens want to do anything this season, they have to stay focused literally through the whole season. They cannot take any lapses. They cannot fall off. They can't afford it, because they have to maintain that focus every single week, because it changes back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. There's no consistency except inconsistency. And they have focused. And that shows a great deal of leadership. So again, now that same leadership has to continue through or into the playoffs and through the playoffs if they want to get where they need to go. So team, keep it clean. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. We know what these Ravens got to do. And again, be happy. They got the number 1 seed right now. They got it. But they need to maintain it. And it's no easy road. We know the Ravens can do it. We know they can. But now it's just a matter of execution. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And just like the Patriots are with the number 1 seed, we out.